If you are married or planning to get married in 2026, here are 3 employment agreements that can secretly destroy your marriage. Most people don't see this coming. So I will be breaking them down for you in this video because I ignored this and it's destroying my marriage. The first employment agreement you should watch out for is other assigned duties. You find this in your employment letter. And what does this other assigned duty means? It means that outside what the job specification is, they can assign other duties for me, tell me things I would do, and I need to carry them out. So I never knew what this meant until my colleague resigned, the person acting as operation manager resigned, and me, a business developer and a location manager, because I work with a private security company. I was asked to assume his position of the acting operation manager. And I started frowning. I thought there would be salary increase and the rest. Then they told me, check your employment letter. Can't you see other assigned duties? And I got shocked because I started doing the job of 2 persons. And at first I frowned and they told me, no, 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 I didn't read. Next time I should get a lawyer, understand the contract I'm signing. And they told me that if I don't want to work, I should leave the company. This is where most people sign their marriage and life into slavery. Just imagine I do the work of 2 persons now. I do almost everything: office assistant, errand person, managing of guards, employing guards, uh, um, managing clients, looking for new businesses. So this is one area you must look out for. Check that employment letter. Check this clause. If the clause says other assigned duties, ask them to specify what the other assigned duties is. Because when I'm saying this, you will never really understand what I'm saying until you get into it and you get stuck. Look at this video. Is very early in the morning. I'm making this video. I just had to talk to you on this because last night I got frustrated. I was assigned duties about 6 p.m. I got home by 10 p.m. and I had to leave my home so I can beat the traffic. So I left home 4 a.m. So please, I know you're anxious to get a job like I was, but not really understanding the clause in your employment agreement is destruction on your own. It's really affecting me because I don't spend time with my kids anymore, my family. I leave home when they are sleeping and I go home when they are falling asleep. So understanding the contract you are signing in your employment agreement matters a lot. Watch out for this. Other assigned duties. Most employers don't have respect or don't consider the employees. They see them as slave. Like for me, my boss would go home as early as 4 p.m. and I will have to wait till 6 p.m. and make sure everything is intact across how many locations. I'm managing about 10 to 15 locations. So these are some of the challenge. Good morning. So make sure you understand the contract agreement you are signing, because if you don't, you will be signing yourself, your marriage, your life into slavery, because that's what I'm into. As I talk to you, I'm strategizing on how to exit, because I know when you're in the job, they will tell you resign if you don't want it, because they know the employee psychology. They know that you will not want to leave your job when you've not gotten any other one. So please pay attention to this contract, to this agreement, employment agreement, other assigned duties. Because if you don't pay attention to it and ask questions, what it entails, what are the other assigned duties, you'll be performing the job of almost everyone. When someone resigns, they will tell you to perform, because the employers believe that if you can do the job of 3 people, why should they employ 3 people? And the painful thing is this: they will never increase the salary. Now, the second employment contract you should look out for and really understand, it's always on time, always on. Ha, You will not really understand this because when I saw this, mine was not really always on, but in most business, most companies have it as always on. They have it as always on. So the always on means you will make yourself available whenever you are needed. You can be in the house with your kids, your family, and maybe emergency occurs and they need you. You can't say no to this because the first time I was dressed to go to church and I got a call that you need to be in a location. And I said, I'm about going to church. And they said, don't you know that you agreed to be always available? The job of a location manager or a patrol supervisor entails that you will always be available whenever you are needed. And before you know, I stopped going to church because incident, maybe theft incident, or maybe God abandoning their duty occurs almost weekends, especially on Sundays. So watch out for this clause. Watch out for this agreement because if you don't, you will really, really suffer for it. So I want you, don't just rush because you need a job, you want to work, you want a job that you can start fending for your providing for your family. I understand you want to provide for your family and help yourself, but the job you accept can destroy you, can even make you not to be available for your family. Because I could remember the other day, my daughter asked me, Daddy, where are you going to at night? It's still dark and you're going to work. So please make sure you understand this. When they tell you always available, always on, which means you should be available, ask how often. Because I asked, they told me just not always, maybe some weekends, and it maybe once in a month. But mine, it has turned to every weekend. And like I told you, the employer knows the psychology of the employee. When you get the job, you know we hardly embrace change. They know that you can hardly leave, though they will tell you leave, you will say you want to leave, but the fear of the unknown will make you don't want to leave. So please and please check this. Read that employment letter. If possible, ask whether you can consult a lawyer or you know someone who has experience in employment. Just tell them, if you don't mind, can you give me 3 hours? Let me go read. Or tell them, let me go share this with my lawyer. When you say this, they will know they will know you know what is expected of you, and they will know how to treat you, how to the kind of errands. Because here in Africa, in Nigeria, they will employ you as a salesperson and end up using you as a driver. They will employ you as office assistant and you end up becoming a marketer. So I want you to take your time and study and understand the employment agreement you are signing into. Because if you don't, that job will become miserable, will make you miserable. You will regret working. So please pay attention to what I'm telling you. Pay attention to this clause because it to this agreement because it will really prevent you from so much headache and frustration. I won't lie to you. My job, it's really, really time consuming. Because if you ask these questions, they will know you know, and even discussing your salary, the take home pay, all this will be put into consideration. You will use this to negotiate if they tell you what always on means, other assigned duty means. You will negotiate better take home pay, better salary, because this is a mistake I made. This is a mistake I made, and not just me. Almost everyone coming in are making this mistake. I know people that have come to work in my in the company where I work, and they are regretting it. So if you find this content great, this conversation interesting, hit the share button and share this video to 5 people. 5% planning to go into marriage or who are already married, please do this, I beg you, because you'll be saving someone from signing his life and his marriage into slavery. Now, the third agreement you should watch out for. This is a popular agreement. It's a well-known agreement. It's called the non-disclosure agreement. Now, this non-disclosure agreement is a very popular one. Like I said, it's well known. But if you are not careful, this is where you will sign your life into slavery, because this non-disclosure agreement entails you keep some secrets of the company. You don't go discussing secret of a client with other persons or secret of your company with other people. You keep it to yourself. Whatever you discover there, you keep it to yourself. But good morning, how you doing? But most employers have begun taking advantage of this clause. Presently, my job, this contract agreement is not affecting me in any way, but I learned about this during my days in the banking sector. They are certain company that took me to the bank, made me sign a non-disclosure agreement. And when I left the bank, the first thing they called me, don't disclose, don't do that, don't say anything. And I even discovered uh, working and interacting with other people, observing other people who signed this non-disclosure agreement, being exploited, being taken advantage of. Because in some organizations, you see the boss like harassing someone's wife, harassing the secretary, turning the employees to personal domestic servants. And when you talk, you want to say it, they will tell you you signed non-disclosure agreement. They will tell you you are we are trying to damage the image of the company. I don't know how to say this, but this is occurring every day because most people did not take time to ask. So when you see this clause, non-disclosure agreement, ask, what are the things that I'm not supposed to disclose? What are? And ask that if I'm being oppressed, don't I have the right to disclose it to a lawyer, to a family member, and the rest to a friend? When you ask this from the very day you start working in that organization, I tell you, the employee will take note of you and even accord you the needed respect because they will know you are well experienced. They will be careful on how they deal with you, on how they treat you. So these are things, mistake I made when I took my present job, that I am doing performing many tasks, performing tasks meant for 4 to 5%. So please, I'm really, really begging you to take note of this. Take time and read. I know, yes, you've been unemployed for months, maybe years, and you're so curious to just jump on the job to have something doing. I know, yes, society have tagged you as lazy person and the rest, and you want to prove people that you are not lazy, you can be gainfully employed. But if you don't do this right, you will be suffering in that employment, in that job. How do you do things right? Ask the right questions. Don't just sign the employment letter. Check for these three clause agreements I shared. Always on other assigned duties, non-disclosure agreements. Make sure you understand this. And don't forget that if you get the first 3 years of your marriage right, you will definitely get the next 30 years right. If you found this conversation interesting, please share this video to 2, 3, 4, 5 persons. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification so that you'll be notified whenever I share experience-based conversation like this. Thank you.